welcome to this episode of Becoming Love. I've recently been thinking a lot about the scripture in John that says, and Jesus, in glorifying the Father, completed the task that the Father had given to him. And then I was thinking, Lord, am I completing the task that you have assigned to my life? Are all of us completing the task? Because Ephesians 2 says that beforehand, God has prepared good works for us to walk in. Once we come to salvation, there is a specific task assigned to our timeline here on earth. So we need to understand the times, and we need to know what to do about it. And all over, darkness is escalating at an incredible rate, and people are becoming so hopeless and so overwhelmed by it. And, in a sense, we can't fight darkness. The only thing that we can do is we can switch on the light. And so in the light of this, I've invited a dear friend as our guest this weekend, Lydia Bresser. Lydia's a wife. She's a mother, she's a grandmother, and she's also the founder of Not Guilty Ministries, which is a ministry that is proactive in addressing sexual molestation and abuse, and many other related topics. And so it's such a privilege to have you here, Lydia. Welcome.
Thank you, Delene. I really appreciate this opportunity, and it's a wonderful, wonderful privilege to speak to you.
I want to say that, Lydia, I recently read something that says if the moral compass of how you measure society is by the way they treat their women and children. And I was thinking, oh my word, if you think of millions of women and children being sexually abused and trafficking, we are in a dire straits in this situation. And, what can we actually, do about it? I wondered, what do you think? I was wondering, why is it escalating so much now? Is it the fact that time is running out? Is it the thing that society is just so fragmented? How do you see it? What do you think is the reason that right now it's escalating so much? Think of the Epstein files and everything that's now, coming on the surface that has been there, as you and I have chatted before, for many ages, even in the Bible's time. But I mean, now there's a escalation, it's just going rampant. Why, Olindia, do you think that right now it's escalating so much in society?
Delene, I wish there was just one reason why it's escalating so much, but I believe, and from our experience, is because our focus is what's happening on the world. In the world, it is easier to look at others and say it's happening there. It's not happening with us in our homes. So we our focus should be on our own homes, our own schools, our own churches, and our own communities. So if we can redirect that back, then we will see that the problem is actually so local that that's the only place we can do something about it. It is impossible, and it is actually unrealistic to wish technology away. And this is not me putting up a fight. I mean, there's so many voices out there that says social media and everything is just too much. But sexuality is the first thing that defines who we are. We are born male and female. So, and the media is marketing and exploiting those two physical traits, beauty and strength. My heart breaks every time when I listen to the testimony of a grown man who's weeping on my shoulder because he was abused and raped as a child. We have a new awareness in our society. Every time when the term is used, abuse against women and children, we must realize that boys see themselves as not as children. They are seeing themselves as men. So we are actually raising a generation of abusers instead of raising them and teaching them as gentlemen. And if I may use just one more thing with regard to the escalation, the laws are changing regarding children's sexual rights and human rights all over the world. The law is an absolute must. We must have the law. But we say prevention is better than cure, but it seems like the world is set on prosecution and judgment. And in all honesty, that is failing the innocent.
Well, to me, this is just a wonderful approach, that when I read through your material, that you're being proactive, because sometimes it's like you said, I like what you're saying, that we should, actually focus on our own communities, because sometimes we're so overwhelmed by the greatness of the problem. Instead of, and people say to me, what does it help if I impact one person? But it might not be a lot to impact one person, but you can't change the world, but you can change the world of one person. And the worth, the worth that Jesus has always placed. I mean, right through the Gospels, you see the worth that Jesus places on one person. And I like, this thing of the proactiveness of preventing it, which to me is an absolutely such a fresh idea, instead of, you've sat with grown-ups, and you yourself have walked a journey, in that area of the devastation in adult lives. And that is, it's like you said in one of your manuals, how much potential is in the graveyard because of what has happened in childhood. And I like that analogy, your material, very much, because that's what it is. Some of us are amputated for life because of broken childhoods, and you still operating out of that as we come to Christ and he starts the healing journey. But obviously your approach of preventing, and so talk to me about how you developed this approach, and how did it come to you? Was it something that Father shared with you after you came to the Lord, and trying to rectifying and saying, this stops with me now? One of the most greatest things to me about the word, Lindia, is how God comes into our brokenness and redeems it, takes it back, right back to its original purpose. And I can remember you, when I met you, your absolute tenacity, you were like a bulldog, to get this ministry birthed. And I had so much respect for you for that. And that's why it's so important for me to get this message out, because I really believe in what you are doing and how needed your voice and this ministry's voice is. But can you share a little bit with me about your approach, how this actually developed out of your background and out of what you've experienced?
Deline, if I can just reverse to something you said a few moments earlier, that change in one person, it's unbelievable how much we impact other people's lives. As you mentioned, I have been raped and abused by my maternal grandfather. And I realized how big that impact is on other lives. It wasn't just only my life that I destroyed, because I was one very bad teenager. And
Which was the product of your past. Yeah.
yes, but I grew up in the church. I had all the catechism, everything that you can think of. I grew up in the church, so it's not a matter of didn't know God and the Bible and all of that. But our approach is, because the impact is so big of abuse, we are never, a sensory memory doesn't allow us to forget all the smells and the noise, what we hear and feel, and it comes back, and people try to forget. They try to forget, whether it's drowning it in their sorrows, or whether it is depression, or every impact that it makes on their lives is so tremendous. So, and you mentioned the Epstein files, and we see grown-up girls, but the challenge is, how do we teach children, small children, because the biggest percentage of abuse happens to children between the ages of 2 and 4 years.
What? So young?
Yes, between 2 and 4 years. So how do we teach them about the bad guys? And that is the not guilty material for children. And the Holy Spirit has taken me and put me there on my grandfather's lap, and so that I can remember those things. You know, in counseling, we just want to say you have to forgive. That's all part of it. But I had to remember, what did I believe as this young, small child? This love that came to me, I love you. What did I believe? Why did I believe the lie? And that is how the Not Guilty for Children was developed, every step of the way, and how
I
we
want
can.
to just stop you there and just say it's very interesting what you're saying to me that you know, we had a discussion before and you said to me, you know, that a lot of the perpetrators are sometimes in very close proximity in family life and so on, you know, like in your case, caregivers or whatever. And in a sense, this is very interesting to me because I know a lot of people will just approach it with a forgiveness, but just it's not so highlighted now to me what you are saying. It's the lie that came in, and that Satan. I always say Satan sets the stage, and he puts the props on, and then he switches on the lights. So what you are actually saying right there, your identity was tarnished by what you believed.
Yes,
Mm.
absolutely. And why wouldn't I believe somebody that is dear to me, somebody who is trusted by other family members?
Wow.
What and so the not guilty material is developed so that we start by teaching that your whole body is yours. It's something that the mistake that we make, that we think abuse is centered around the genitals. There's a whole lot more that is stolen. If the devil can steal a nice kiss from your husband, from you, he will steal it with somebody older or an abuser's stinky breath. He will steal in every way. So we teach your whole body is yours, and as it develops, that you are beautiful and strong, but that beauty and strength is not the runner-up. You have other gifts and talents, because Delene, we receive so many gifts and talents, and so when that grow up, it's the whole deal, the whole picture, and then there's teaching the adults who establish the trustworthy relationship. He or she must understand what is the impact of teaching the right behavior. If we teach the right behavior, we are already moving in the right direction. We make mistakes. We
Absolutely.
definitely make mistakes. And we can't protect them 24/7. There is no thing of protecting your child from everyday things. They are being born into this world. But we are created for a.
Foundationally, you can set the foundation right by
Yes,
prevention. Yes, yes.
absolutely. Because we are first and foremost created for relationship with our creator. There's no substitute for that relationship. That's why technology can't give you a physical relationship. And when children are in need of physical relationships, for love, care, a mother, father, grandfather, even their siblings, and just a hug from this one and that one, we need that. We cannot substitute that. So it makes us more vulnerable in the world where moms and dads work, and all the circumstances that is part of the environment where they grow up. So
Yeah,
we must create
and
healthy
the
relationships.
and the vulnerability of children, you know, we were recently involved with the refugees, you know, having to flee the country and just the circumstances that they are living in now, you know, and being exposed to. Then I think, yeah, I want to ask you something. I often found in counseling, dealing with people that have come out of sexual molestation, often say to me, I don't believe in God because where was God when this happened to me? Just a practical, just to throw it in, what would you say to people like that? Was that ever something that came into your mind once you accepted Christ? Lord, but where were you when this happened?
For me, Delene, I had to understand. I walked this path, and I cannot wish it otherwise, because I know God was there all the way. But I am often even confronted, violently confronted, because people would say to me, how can you have empathy with it? How can a father do that, or grandfather do that, or a mother? Because incest amongst mothers and sons is alarmingly rising.
Really?
So yes, and it is a fact. And I have been from Kailicha to Cairo teaching and recording testimonies, and then I quite often have to remind people that there was a choice. And I was a victim when I was a small child. I can't take that away from nobody, but there comes a time in a person's life when they understand right from wrong. So they can either stay there, or they can look forward to the rest of their lives and take hold of deal with what was stolen from you. By all means, deal with it. And
Yeah,
but you have your whole life ahead of you, and that's not defining who you are. There's so
absolutely.
much more.
I,
Yeah,
I,
and God always, I always ask people, sorry, Delene, I was just reminded of that. I ask people, when do you want God to interfere into the choice? When two people go to a bar, they get drunk, they are going to have unprotected sex, that's the word that we use, and there is going to be a baby that's maybe going to be thrown away. When do you want God to say, hey, stop this, I know where this is going, I'm taking your free choice away from that? Or do you want to allow him to, up to a point, to allow people to make their own choices and then interfere? So that's usually my answer, but I take a very loving approach.
I often see God's in situations standing with his hands behind his back. People think he's just standing there but we forget that when that happens, we're under the jurisdiction of the kingdom of darkness. It's only when we are being transferred to the kingdom of light that the redemption starts. And God using all of that and impacting. Look at what's happened to your life, and the wonder of, what God has done through your life. Lindia, tell us a little bit more of the material.
So not guilty is also
Yeah.
presented in Egypt and in Arabic languages.
Wow, isn't that just
Um,
amazing, Lindia? That is just amazing.
yeah,
Um,
and a lot of countries like Malaysia and so on use the English. They are happy with using the English. So there
yeah.
is international doors opened, but we try to accommodate culture and religion, because those things play a big role in
Absolutely, absolutely. And
society.
I think you need to work in wisdom, of where the fields that you work in. Locally, you've been working at the farms as well, here locally. And how was the ministry received in the Western Cape on the farms?
It is something that I enjoy sharing with people. I love working. I enjoy the opportunity, whether it is on a grand stage and whether it is somewhere on a farm. I had the privilege to working with the Western Cape Department of Agriculture
Mm.
and working on farms. It is a great privilege to, especially to also share that. I know a lot of the circumstances you can relate to pain and hurt, and especially as I opened, the way I opened, that I have a heart for the men of not just South Africa but for the whole world. And in the working environment, sometimes they shy away, especially the men. They shy away from this is about women and abuse, and people don't always want to listen. And then in the working environment, it gives the opportunity for both employer and employee to get the benefit of such a training. So yeah, I am excited about that.
I just think it's amazing that you're focusing on the men too, and that God had given you a heart for the men. How amazing, because I mean, you were raped by a man, and yet God has redeemed your heart, you know. So that is just absolutely amazing. You know what the Spirit of God can do. And I think also it's also because, you know, I think the thing with this gender violence, what I see in the country, it's like they focus just on the woman, you know.
Yeah.
I've seen it, you know, the gender-based violence. The local municipalities and stuff have put up, you know, gender violence at the police that co-works with the police and that. And they're all just focused on the woman. And yet it's a universal problem. It's not just, you know, connected to women.
Especially now in our time when there is a sort of affirmative action in the working environment. And once the men has listened to us and that we work through some of the issues when they open up, you will hear that many of them were, when they were small boys, they were not only sexually abused, but they quite often being beaten by mothers because the mother has now the authority and power over them. So they grow up and they disregard, they have dishonoring for their parents and especially their mothers, because now they are men and they won't listen and they will beat their wives because there's that circle repeat. But they themselves have been, it is a gender-based violence when a mother beats a little boy into
Of course.
submission.
Of course, you know, and what a trap, because now they dishonor their parents, and that brings a curse on them because the law of God cannot move, you know, it's an absolute. So this is just amazing. Lydia, will you be able to do like a session on Zoom, for instance, where we can where you can start teaching on Zoom? If we were to invite you, would you be able to do a session like those fantastic illustrations, you know, of the body? And you know, it was done so creatively, and yeah, I was really impressed with it, and also simple, you know, for a child to understand. Or would you feel it would mean more rather to equip caregivers and parents? So what do you use that material now to equip the parents, or and they present it to the children? So it is just a tool for the teachers and the parents or the caregivers or whatever to use how to educate the children, or do you actually lecture children as well?
We have supported sponsored programs that we go to schools and we try to reach out and touch every one of them. Because if we reach one, it usually touches another. It
Of
don't
course,
stay
yeah, of course,
with one.
yeah.
So every different opportunity, but the material is there for, because we can't reach everybody, but maybe somebody can just receive a book. Even if a child who's able to read can get a children's book, that they can learn the truth in a very simple way. But the
Okay,
aim is to equip adults to understanding better. So yes, every medium is possible to do it in a different way as long as the
okay.
message get out.
And have you worked with like parent groups in churches?
Yes, but that is a little bit because we still have to build that bridge where people understand that this is something that we need to bring to church as well.
Of
Um,
course,
um,
of
we
course,
we
of
need to
course.
bring this inside the church. And yes, so I do a lot of guest speaking, women talks, and
Mm.
other different ways of addressing a group of people. But yeah, it depends on what is the need, and are just material available, or do you need a session where you understand the impact? Because quite often when people understand why it is so important, where does it start and where it can end or shouldn't end, then they are better equipped and they see the big picture. They just see
Yeah,
the picture.
this is absolutely, because you know understanding is of crucial. You see, Jesus placed a high policy on understanding, you know. I want to ask you if you, how do you feel at the moment of being what comes to me is that people and families and children are being desensitized through the media. You know, it's like the media, as we all know, the role that the media is playing in polluting the world. The media actually controls the world, but I mean, that it controls the darkness. But the fact is, what I see, it's a desensitizing of senses. Oh, this is not so bad.
Okay, maybe I can wrap it up in this one liner for you. Children live in a world of make believe, but they believe it.
Oh,
They
yeah.
believe it.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we have to teach the truth, because just go out there and open your eyes for a moment and see what is being put in front of them, and they will believe it unless taught otherwise.
Yeah, that's a profound thing that you're saying. Olindia, I just want to bless you. I want to bless you for your courage and the seed of your life that is multiplying, all exponentially multiplying. And I'm trusting the Lord that the wind of the Spirit will blow you where you are needed, and that your voice will be heard. And so I really want to, we will put in the bio link Olindia's contact details with all the materials. You're welcome to invite her to a women's group, to your church, to your school, whatever you're involved in. Let's get in behind her. We get so much more done when we work together. And let's just support her so that this material can get out, and that we, more than ever before, as the bride of Christ, stand up and be the light in the areas. Even if you prepare your family or you just impact your school, it can make a big difference. So please check out the link of the material. You can order it from her, or you can make contact with her personally if you need her as a speaker. Olindia, thank you so much for your time.